Okay, we're going to talk about grading lab worksheets. But first, I'm going to go through the no late work policy. So lab worksheets, what we say is no late work, but what we actually do is behind the scenes, without being said, we accept it. They show up and they do the work. If they go to a makeup lab, if they came to class and they actually stayed the whole time, they did the work, we need to give them some credit that first. So we'll give them credit, but only half credit, no matter how late it is or how not late it is. And the only exception is the first lab worksheet. They're still working it out. They're forgetful. They're not used to our deadlines. So we're going to make exceptions for the first lab worksheet. No deductions there. Let's move on to homework assignments. What we say, no late work. What we do, no late work. They have a week, they have ample time to work on it. And we're just not going to bog you down with chasing them down. We are going to make exceptions for the first of everything. So for that first homework video, if they didn't turn it in, we're going to follow up and remind them to turn it in with no deductions. Quizzes, which is going to be due next week, 1 hour for their lab. What we say, no late quizzes. What we do, no late quizzes. Actually, La Lima won't even let them take it late, so it's going to shut them down. So even if they're sick, they need to take it, so they should take it early. They have 3 days. Don't put it off to the last minute and then your computer doesn't work. And I didn't write it in the table, but it's supposed to be, we'll give an exception for the first quiz. So only the same day, if students have not taken the quiz, by the time they come to class, you're going to follow up with them and find out what happened. And you can give them extension, just like you do for Kokua, and give them additional time for the first quiz only. If you're grading your lab worksheet, I just wanted to point out, if you haven't done it already, when you pause, Micah, right now, when you go into La Lima and you open up your assignments, you can click on, as a lab 1 worksheet, you can either click on grade, or you can click on the number of submissions on the right, and it'll take you to a page with a list of your students. This section right here, I can't show you their names, but they haven't hit their deadline yet, so they don't have everyone submitted, but some people have. So if they've submitted it, but you haven't graded yet, it'll show up as ungraded, submitted, and when they turn it in, if they have not turned in anything, that's no submission. So that's who you're going to want to follow up with for this first worksheet, find out what happened. And then you might find the very bottom, there's this up, ungraded in progress. So if you get that, I didn't know what it meant. It means that they attached their file possibly, but they have not technically hit the submit. They have not submitted it, so you can't see it and you won't be able to grade it. So you need to contact that type of student. But everyone else that has submitted it will show up as ungraded and when they submit it. So when you're ready to grade, you're going to, at the very top two, you have 2 options for grading. If you would like to download all of the submissions onto your computer and work on there offline, you can. You hit download all, it download it to a folder, you can go through and grade them, and then when you finish, you upload them back. If you would rather just grade in La Lima, if you go to the right, if you just click on the names, I was gonna show you. Oh, I answered the wrong picture. That's why. Hold on, pause. Okay, the other option is just to do it in La Lima. And if you go through your list, it'll open up each assignment as a Word or PDF. It'll give you a preview so you can go through and read. And then you're just gonna want to, if you're not giving them a perfect score, you want to definitely make it obvious where they're getting their points off by either marking the document, or you can put a feedback comment. So some people might download it and upload their attachment, the feedback as an attachment, or you can put it as private notes. You also will need to show your students this next week, because they will not know how you're giving them feedback. They'll just see a grade and grade book, but they're not going to see if you're putting comments. So next week, why don't you open it up and show them an example without showing them grades of where they can find your feedback for each assignment. And then you can save this. You can save and release the student the grade to the student, so it'll be released to their grade book and they can see it. Or you can wait to the very end. And then if you go up to the top, you can release all the grades at once. Just make sure you release them at some point so that they go to the grade book and they'll be counted towards the grades. I think that's it. Okay, go watch the notes on next week's lab. Stop.